Elden Ring is permeated in tragedy. This painting perfectly encapsulates what this video will attempt to convey. An ethereal figure wreathed in an inferno of hair that does not look so raging as it does gently burning as fire is meant to. It engulfs nothing and is selfless in that manner. His skin is wan and his mouth cocks a minute frown, displaying his internal desire to dissent from his purpose. But this figure has been corrupted. He is blind, one eye entirely succumbing to a kind of decay. His clawed hand reaches out, but it does not look as though he controls it. The serpent to his dextral side hisses malignantly, as if it is that which controls the claw. The painting shows Messmer the Impaler as a puppet, and it is this that is hidden beneath the surface of his character. He is the perfect showcase of FromSoftware's ability to craft villains neither evil nor good. They exceed in moral ambiguity. Just before we begin, if you are a writer or a poet, I am also an editor. So for submission pieces, full-length novels, non-fiction pieces, if you need some professional editing that isn't taking the piss with pricing, I'm your gal. The website is linked below, so have a look if that's something you're interested in. But otherwise, do consider subscribing, please. Since the first trailer for the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, countless theories and questions arose at the characters depicted. Most ardently, the serpentine, red-haired villain who was shown burning a city to the ground. Fire, all-consuming, is often a motif of antagonists. Look only to Avatar: The Last Airbender. FromSoftware guided us to believe that this mysterious figure would be the true villain of the DLC. I, for one, believed Shadow of the Erdtree to be set in the past, and that this was some vision of Rykard due to the prominence of serpents in his design. However, we were all incorrect, and Messmer the Impaler was revealed, the primogeniture of Marika and Radagon. Messmer is the eldest brother of Malenia, Miquella, and, debatably, though heavily implied, Melina, and dons his father's fiery red hair that became a staple of most of his offspring. None of whom adorn this hair have been kind to us as tarnished. Radahn has battled against his wits and for his half-brother. Malenia has, too, stood guard to Miquella's legacy. And Radagon and Marika themselves have fought us to keep the Elden Ring untethered. Messmer becomes the fourth and final sanguine crowned demigod the Tarnished faces. But why do we seek his death? This is a question one could ask of many, if not all, of the bosses we face in Souls games. If one is ignorant to the lore, which it is not hard to be, they will be forgiven in going along with the game's progression without a care in the world. Messmer, it turns out, is only a single barrier in the way of our ultimate goal. That crimson hair does not confirm Radagon's lineage, however, for there is an outlier. While his brother and sisters brandished this hair, Melina's melting between Marika's aureate locks and Radagon's vivid auburn, Miquella the Kind, the unchild, is everything his mother, while Malenia became a formidable warrior, mirroring her half-brother Radahn's interests. Her twin had less proficiency in the way of the sword. Instead, he went down the path of benevolence to free his twin from her outer god-born curse. But, like an Ouroboros, he came full circle. It is through fire and spiral that we must persevere. To ascend the Haunt's tower we must go, to the gates of divinity, where Miquella the Kind shall await us to join him in his misguided age of compassion. So, this begs the question, is Miquella or Messmer the true antagonist? Both, or neither? This is what helps FromSoft excel in their narrative, that overarching question of morality. Are we the villains for allowing the first flame to die, for killing the orphan of Kos, for preventing Miquella's age of compassion? It is, of course, all down to our own personal morality. Messmer's fight emits an air of duty, of boredom, as if he is also doing the same task expecting different results, the tagline to insanity and From's formula. He recounts his duty, that task that his own mother assigned to him, to stand guard the land of shadow and strike down any who oppose this endless war. Messmer sits upon a throne with no subjects, within a room dark and empty, shorn of light. Thematically, he is the prince kept prisoner within the tallest room of the tallest tower, guarded by a serpent. He could leave, but loyalty and love of his mother keeps him vigilant. The reason for his imprisonment, as in our own religions, snakes in the lands between have connotations of blasphemy and heresy. Messmer was cursed like all of Marika Radigan's children, and this scourge is that of a serpent writhing in his very essence. A malevolent snake writhed within Messmer, and so his very mother plucked out his eye and put in its place a seal of grace. Yet having done so, her fear compelled her to secret away her child within the realm of shadow. But Marika did not care for her child, not really. Her love is misguided, not unlike to Miquella. He wishes to blind the lands between in the grace of benevolence, but in doing so will imprison them and destroy their autonomy. Messmer represents this divide, this duality, and his fate exhumes any possibility that Miquella's intentions are wholeheartedly good. It is Messmer's own flame that ignites the room in which we tarnished face him. But this flame is consuming and violent, ever burning, seeking the flesh of tarnished like a serpent thirsty for blood. Messmer fights with the technicalities of a general, of a fight he has done 1,000 times over. Piles of corpses left in his wake. Upon our inevitable death to his spear in Phase 1, he'll recite the line,
Constricted the grace of gold shadowed death, in the embrace of Messmer's flame.
which many fans believed was odd and inappropriate sounding. Even I agreed it sounded strange on first listen, but as always, the all-knowing Vati granted us eyes. He states that
every line is recorded with Miyazaki himself overseeing the situation. So if Messmer sounds tired, disinterested, it's deliberate. And I think it's because they aren't really his words.
this reinforces what I mentioned before, that he recites these lines in third person, notably, as if this was the mantra that was embedded in his mind. The genocide of the Horn-Sent people as a consequence of the war between Messmer's army and Ballarat is plastered throughout the expansion. Death, death, death scars the land of shadow. Messmer is not innocent, however manipulated he may have been. The man we fight is a puppet, and in order to further protect Marika's legacy, he betrays her, like a serpent. To hide away the serpents writhing in his essence, Marika had plucked out her child's eye and placed instead a seal of grace. In the phase change, Messmer gouges out the seal in an act of defiance and a crescendo to freeing himself from the tethers of his duty. He still tries to kill you, and perhaps, should the revelation have come to him of his wasted life before his death, he would not have been so keen. But Messmer frees the serpent writhing within him, and in turn becomes the very antithesis to the aureate grace doused in the sacerdotal that his mother's influence has on the lands between. He retains his fighting style, but with the added help of the great serpent that merged within him. In the end, Messmer's fight is enshrouded in darkness and depravity. Upon his defeat, he curses his mother.
America, a curse upon thee.
Messmer is an antagonist to the Tarnished, and upon the surface also to the entirety of the lands between. But as we discover throughout the game, the Golden Order and the greater will that commanded Marika's rule was not so benevolent as mortals once believed. The only reason omens, for example, are heretical to the Golden Order is due to the Hornsent's enslavement of Marika's people, which resulted in the cruel irony of Morgoth and Mohg's horned curse. So what makes Messmer any different? He is only the symbol of blasphemy due to societal expectation. No, I do not think Messmer is villainous, but neither is he totally good. He is a great example of the moral ambiguity FROMSOFTWARE can conjure. He led armies to a violent and one-sided war with Ballarat, but only because Marika blinded him to the truth of his atrocities, though he still killed and massacred an entire people. It is a complex case, and I will leave it to you to judge whether he can be forgiven or not. Our first taste of Miquella's intentions come from his most loyal acolyte, Needle Knight Leda.
Were you guided here by kindly Miquella? I am Leda. And like you, I was guided by faith along his honorable path. Touch the withered arm, and you too will be transported to the realm of shadow where Miquella the Kind now dwells. My compatriots are there already. Like us, they have heard kindly Miquella's call.
For a first-time player, the question of our allies and goal has already been answered. We must pursue Miquella, who we all once believed was the victim of Mohg's depravity. Justice for Mohg, by the way. Throughout the first half of the DLC, the Tarnished is overwhelmed by Miquella's presence and supposed benevolence. His nickname by all the NPCs is Kindly Miquella, and strewn across the land of shadow are crosses which mark where he abandoned his essence. Sacrificed, but for whom? Miquella is the sheer antithesis to his brother, Messmer. His intentions are good, to bury the original sin and cast away malevolence to make space for an age of compassion. But what does this eternal light mean? Simply a loss of autonomy, and a charm so very enticing that any and all affected will be forced to bend a knee and lose their freedom. This is the most blatant example of a complex morality, and I do adore that From tends to avoid making their villains villainous for the sake of it. In fact, they tend to stray from making overt villains at all. In contrast to his brother, Miquella's fight is doused in the harsh glow of the divine. His attacks are celestial and golden, fully embracing the aureate nature of their heritage. He, too, however, is fighting to prevent the Tarnished from trespassing on his desire. Furthermore, does the fight occur within a tall tower, grasping at the heavens. While Messmer fights in a tower of shadow, Miquella fights in a structure strewn in the aureate. The duality of these two fights are profound, and the connotations behind them differ greatly. Messmer fights for his honour, out of utter spite that he should be abandoned so. Miquella fights for the supposed good of mortal kind, one self-absorbed, the other altruistic, yet both are misguided, and both fail in their task. With the release of the far more story-driven Night Rain, I do wish FromSoft did not make their game's historical and anthropological aspects so realistic. I wish we could see cutscenes of characters interacting with one another in a more in-depth vision of their stories. The fact that Messmer was the elder brother to Miquella, and yet the two never mention one another, truly breaks my soul, and I believe it is a slight misstep. Along with that, I wish we saw Radahn in the final cutscene of Shadow of the Erdtree. The ending was subjectively anticlimactic, and merely showed us a flashback of something we already knew. To have seen Malenia or Radahn consult with Miquella, speak to him and confirm their part in his plan, it would have been a far more profound close to Elden Ring's content. Alas, upon the defeat of the promised consort, there are no final curses nor breaks in Miquella's character. He does not shout in agony nor remark cruelly the failure of he and his half-brother, but merely curls himself round Radahn as if to protect him. Even in death, he is benevolent. They die together, once more contrasting with Messmer's lonely death. While Miquella falls with the comfort of his consort, lowering his head hellward, Messmer reaches heavenward and quietly confirms his final descent from his mother's abandonment. Left alone and forgotten within the land of shadow, Messmer has none there to comfort him. His life was wasted, and his story ends in tragedy. To bind mortal kind to compassion, one must pluck their eyes and shrive their hearts until they see nothing but radiance and gold. Their minds and souls must be tamed, and anguish must not prevail. To pursue the age of compassion, one must imprison the lands between. It is for their own good, after all. But what is love without hate? What is elation without melancholy? Without the negative, on what scale can one use to determine the positive? Miquella the Kind was a monster, but not by intent. His intentions were pure, but his actions spoke louder. Messmer the Impaler was a monster, but not by intent. His intentions were pure, but his actions spoke louder. It is not the fault of the children, the flaws of the parents, yet neither were innocent. FromSoftware's skill in writing morally ambiguous villains is influential for writers such as myself. But let me ask you, is it we, the Tarnished, who are the true villains? Strewn in ambition as Morgoth mocks and greed to take the Elden throne. Who are we to slay these Imperials? Who are we to stray from the grace of gold and forsake the two fingers? Just like the Ashen One, the chosen undead, the hunter, the bearer of the curse, we Tarnished kill and follow death, death, death. Perhaps it is we who are the true antagonists here. Thank you so much for watching, good hunters. I just want to also very quickly point out, as I'm unsure if it probably came across in this video, both Miquella and Messmer were very shitty people and did some absolutely atrocious things, and I'm not like excusing them for that. This is just a video looking at them from a completely different angle, that's it. Please do consider subscribing and liking for more videos like this on all manner of video games, and I shall see you in the waking world.